Ladies and gentlemen, huge day. Why? We're about to finish Julius Caesar. In fact, we are going to read Act 5, Scene 4 and Act 5, Scene 5. We are at a very important part of this play, right? The battle is ensuing. Cassius made a huge mistake. I don't really feel that bad for Cassius. Not at all. But he made a huge mistake, right? He sent Titinius to go see what was going on in his tents because there was a lot of people over there, and he was worried that it was the other army. He saw, Pindarus' slaves saw Titinius get taken down and everybody shouting and whatnot, and they both misunderstood it for him being taken and killed by the enemy. Cassius then frees Pindarus' slave, but he says, you have to do one last thing. You have to kill me. Pindarus is like, okay, kills Cassius. Cassius is dead. Titinius and Messala come back to share the good news with Cassius. We're winning over there. Our army has been victorious. Now all we have to do is beat Antony's army. He comes to put the crown of victory on Cassius's head, and he realizes, oh, snap, Cassius is dead. Sorry, I rhymed one time. He then kills himself as Messala goes to find Brutus because he feels so bad about Cassius dying. So Brutus comes over and sees the dead Cassius and Titinius. He gets all upset, which is ironic because he's a Stoic. He didn't get very upset for his wife, but he gets upset for Cassius and Titinius. He says, have them be buried, and tonight we will finish this battle. I will attack the last, I will take your army and I will go attack their army. We have one army left. Now, one army against one army. The interesting thing is, though, they still have all their generals, it seems, whereas Brutus is losing his generals. He's lost Cassius, he's lost Titinius. I'm not sure who else. So let's wait and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, let's finish this play right now. Let's go. Scene 4. Act 5, Scene 4. Alarm. Enter Brutus, Messala, Cato, Lucilius, and Flavius. Brutus. Yet, countrymen. Oh, yet. Hold up your heads. Brutus, Messala, and Flavius exit. Cato. What bastard doth not? Who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho. A foe to tyrants and my country's friend. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho. Enter soldiers in fight. Lucilius. And I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus. I, Brutus, my country's friend. Know me for Brutus. Cato is killed. Okay, so Cato is, one of the, on Antony's side, and he goes up and he says, I am Marcus Cato's son, and I am a foe to tyrants. Step up here. And Brutus steps up and kills him. O young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why now thou diest as bravely as Titinius, and mayest be honored being Cato's son. First soldier, seizing Lucilius, yield or you die. Lucilius, only I yield to die. There is so much that will kill me straight, offering money. Kill Brutus and be honored in his death. We must not, a noble prisoner. Okay, now remember, who is Lucilius? Lucilius is Brutus's servant / buddy. I don't know. I think he's one of his buddies, right? Either way, servant or buddy. He just got caught by Antony's guys. And they're like, you're going to die. And he goes, no, you don't want to kill me. I'm Brutus. And they're like, oh, we've got Brutus. We've got Brutus. So they're now going to bring Lucilius over to Antony and say, look, we captured Brutus. Here he is, my lord. And Antony's going to look at Lucilius and go, yeah, that's not Brutus. That's not Brutus. What's the point of Lucilius doing this? I think it's to give Brutus time to get away. Remember, Brutus said he would not allow himself to kill himself, and he would also not allow himself to be captured. So maybe he's running. Maybe Brutus wants to try to get away, maybe get another army or something like that. I don't know. But Lucilius is trying to save or give Brutus some time, right? We must not a noble prisoner. Enter Antony. Room, ho. Tell Antony Brutus is taken. I'll tell you the news. Here comes the general. Brutus is taken. Brutus is taken, my lord. So they're standing there holding Lucilius, and they're going, look, Brutus is taken. And Antony walks up and he goes, well, where is he? And they go, safe. And Lucilius looks at them and goes, safe, Antony. Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself. So Antony walks up and he's like, well, where the heck is Brutus? And Lucilius, who they thought was Brutus, goes, ha! He's getting away, man. You're not going to capture him, and you're not going to be the one to get the glory of killing him. Oh, no. And Antony says, this is not Brutus, friend, but I assure you, a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe. Give him all kindness. I had rather have such men my friends than my enemies. Okay, so interesting. Anthony says, keep this guy. This is one of Brutus's boys, right? This is one of his generals. So let's keep him. And he goes, don't kill him. I would rather have such men my friends than mine enemies. So at the end of all of this, I think Antony is going to take any of the Brutus's guys who weren't conspirators, as long as they didn't kill Caesar. because Lucilius wasn't part of the conspiracy. That's why he's going to still, allow him to live. Trust me, Antony's not letting any of the conspirators, CCCC, BTDM, Cats Can't Chew Crispy Bacon during the movie, none of those 8 men are going to be allowed to live. But anybody else who followed them, he's going to give them a choice to follow him instead. Let's see. Go on and see where Brutus be alive or dead, and bring us word into Octavius's tent how everything is chance. So they exit in different directions. All right, it sounds like this battle is pretty much over. They're now just trying to find Brutus. They're like kind of cleaning up the mess, cleaning up the end of the war. Let's see, scene 5. Enter Brutus, Dardanius, Cletus, Strato, and Volumnius. Brutus, come, poor remains of friends, rest on this rock. All right, that tells us all we need to know. Brutus says, come, poor remains of friends, rest on this rock. So they are at the end of their army. They're probably surrounding and they're fighting to the death, it seems, because remember, Brutus said he wouldn't be captured and he wouldn't let them kill him. Let's continue. Cletus. Statilius showed the torchlight, but my lord, he came not back. He is taken or slain. Brutus, sit thee down, Cletus. Slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hark thee, Cletus. And then he whispers something to Cletus. And Cletus says, what, I, my lord? No, not for all the world. Peace. Then no words. And Cletus said, I would rather kill myself. So what did Brutus just whisper to Cletus? And Cletus said, no, I would not do that. I would kill myself first. I think Brutus is asking these guys to kill him. Because remember, Brutus says he doesn't think it's cool to kill yourself. Now, is there much of a difference between killing yourself or saying to somebody, stab me with this? I personally don't think so, but Brutus does. He whispers to Dardanius. Dardanius says, shall I do such a deed? Cletus, oh, Dardanius, oh, Cletus. So they both know that Brutus is asking them to kill him, and they're both sad because they don't want to see Brutus die. Dardanius and Cletus step aside. Cletus, what ill request did Brutus make to thee? Dardanius, to kill him. Cletus, look, he meditates. Cletus now is that noble vessel full of grief that it runs over even at his eyes. Brutus, come hither, good Volumnius, list a word. What says my lord? Why this, Volumnius? The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me 2 several times by night. At Sardis once, and this last night here in the Philippi fields. I know my hour is come. Not so, my lord. Nay, I am sure it is, Volumnius. Thou seest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. Low alarms. And at low alarms means the armies are getting close. The war, like the battle is getting closer and closer to them. So if he doesn't do something soon, he is going to be either captured or killed by them. It is more worthy to keep and leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Listen to that. It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. He says, it is better if you kill me than they kill me. I don't want to give them that pride that they can run around and say, I killed Brutus. Now, not for nothing. Is Antony and the rest of the army, are they going to care who kills Brutus as long as Brutus is dead, right? So I don't understand this whole thing. And Brutus says, good Volumnius, thou knowest that we two went to school together. Even for that our love of old, I prithee, hold thou my sword while I run on it. That's not an office for a friend, my lord. Alarm continues. Fly, fly, my lord. There is no tarrying here. So they're getting even closer. And Brutus says, farewell to you, and you, Volumnius. Strato, thus has been all this while asleep. Farewell to thee too, Strato. Countrymen, my heart doth joy that yet in all of my life I found no man but he was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day. More than Octavius. He says, since I'm the one killing myself, I'm the real winner. Antony and Mark and Octavius, they lose because they didn't get to kill me. Yeah, no, dude. I wonder, does he even really believe this as he's saying it to himself? He just won't admit the fact that A, he was wrong, and B, he's losing. I shall have glory by this losing day more than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus's tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon my eyes. My bones would rest that have but labored to attain this hour. Alarm, cry within, fly, fly, fly. Cletus, fly, my lord, fly. Brutus, hence I will follow. All exit but Brutus and Strato. So Cletus and Volumnius, they run, and Dardanius, they're leaving because, was it Dardanius? No, it was the other one. Who was the other one? Volumnius, Cletus. Yes, Cletus and Volumnius. They run because the army is coming to them. Strato and Brutus are still there. I prithee, Strato, stay thou by my lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some snatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword and turn away thy face whilst I do run upon it. Will thou, Strato? So he says, will you hold my sword? And don't watch while I kill myself. I'm going to run onto the sword. I'm going to kill myself on it. And Strato says, give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord. And Brutus says, farewell, good Strato. Brutus runs on his sword. Caesar, now be still. I killed thee, not with half so good a will. And he dies. Interesting. He dies mentioning killing Caesar. And both he and Cassius have now died by having their friends kill them or hold their swords while they can, or their slave and their friend. But you get my point. They both killed themselves. And now that makes Antony and Octavius the winners. He dies. Alarm, retreat. Enter Antony, Octavius, Messala, Lucilius, and the army. So here they come. And Octavius and Antony are now going to find the dead Brutus. What are they going to do? And how does this end? Octavius, what man is that? Messala, my master's man. Strato, where is thy master? Free from the bondage you are in, Messala. The conquerors can but make a fire of him, for Brutus can only overcome himself, and no man else hath honor by his death. Lucilius, so Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius' saying true. Octavius, all that served Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellow, wilt thou bestow thy time with me? So Octavius goes out. He says to all the people out there, all the survivors of Brutus's army, and he says, all of you who worked for Brutus, I will entertain you. In other words, you can work for me now if you want. Will you bestow your time with me? And he looks at Strato and he says, will you work for me? And he says, I, if Messala will prefer me to you. And Octavius says, do so, good Messala. And Messala says, how died my master, Strato? And Strato says, I held the sword and he did run on it. Messala, Octavius, then take him to follow thee. Thou did the latest service to my master. Antony, this was the noblest Roman of them all. Okay, so Antony is now looking down at dead Brutus. He says this. This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only in general honest thought. So listen, he's looking down at Brutus and he realizes, and this is interesting that he does, he makes a distinction between Brutus and the other 7 conspirators. He says this was a noble guy. Even though he killed Caesar, he did it for the good of Rome. He says only in general honest thought and common good to all made one of them. Was he wrong? Yes, but he did it for what he believed was good. So he was still a good Roman because he wanted Rome to be a good place. And he tried to do the best for the people. Now, the other conspirators, now, in fact, he says, let's read it again. This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in great envy of Caesar. He only in general honest thought and common good to all made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in them that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man. And Octavius says, and this is the end of our play, according to his virtue, let us use him with all respects and rights of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier, ordered honorably, so call the field to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day. And they all exit, and that's the end. But I want to point out, how does it end? Octavius and Antony forgive Brutus for what he did. Absolutely forgive him. And they say, we are going to bury him. Well, we're going to burn him honorably, right? Rites of burial. Well, no, they're going to bury him. Rites of burial. I mean, whether or not they burn him or they bury him, either way, they're going to honor his body, right? And they're going to talk about him honorably for the rest of his life. And they're going to say to people, this was a good man, Brutus. And they're going to let people know he was a good man. The conspirators, what do you think they're going to do with their bodies? Cassius, who's laying out there on the field right next to them, and Titinius and all these other guys. Well, Titinius was a conspirator, but the other conspirators, I think they're going to leave them there to be eaten by the vultures and the crows and the kites. Remember those birds of death that Cassius was talking about? Turns out those birds of death were an omen for him. That's what they're not going to bury them honorably or burn them honorably. They're going to leave them to be feasted on by the animals and by the birds, which is a very dishonorable thing to do for anybody. The first thing you have to do for anybody who dies, even a bad person, an enemy of yours, is to treat their body with honor and to bury them honorably. Antony and Octavius will not forgive the conspirators for that. So they're going to avenge them in that way, while they do forgive Brutus in the other way. So it's interesting. We're seeing in this play both things happening. The idea of what's better, of revenge or forgiveness. Antony and Octavius are showing us that they believe it's both. It depends on the situation and the person. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done with Julius Caesar. Really fantastic job. You have now read and understand one of the most important plays of all time. Great job.